believe Buffalo is going to win it, folks.
Kick your heels up and down.
Let's see why the Buffalo Bills are en route to the playoffs.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout.
Buffalo Bills go undefeated. And we're going to the Super Bowl, yeah.
Now, baby, come on, come on.
No one
Come on
circles the
and
wagon
shout.
like the Buffalo Bills.
We are live, and we are back. Welcome to another episode of the Overdue Bills podcast. And we're excited. We're excited. A little temper of excitement, but we're definitely happy we got the win yesterday. But there's some things that we need to talk about. Definitely some things that we need to talk about moving forward into this season. But with that being said, let me introduce the guys here today. We have our guy, your guy, Matt, aka Matty Ice. Matt, how you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. Happy to come off of a Bills win, coming into another big game, ready to talk some football, man. What's going on?
Oh man, listen, and our guy Rad, aka All Purpose Rad, aka Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Rad, what's up, man?
Bro, I'm good, bro. I'm happy. Bills win. I'm good. Let's talk some football.
Absolutely, definitely have to talk some football. And let me say this before we get on. Shout out to Buffalo fan base and 26 shirts. Definitely want you to tap in with that. And with that being said, Matt, before we get into the show, we have to let the people know who is sponsoring our show today.
Yeah, this show and every other show is brought to you by the good people at Buffalo Wing Kings. There's two things that the guys here at the Overdue Bills podcast know. That's Bills football and that's wings. Our first choice and the best choice, Buffalo Wing Kings. It's football season, everybody. Monday night tonight. It's not too late to get your order in for the game tonight. Patriots playing the Cardinals, catch a little division action. They can take another loss, kind of separate ourselves. Definitely get your order in. See our guys down at Buffalo Wing Kings while you're watching that game tonight. Stop down and see them at 484 Elmwood Avenue or give them a call at 716-248-1427 and find out why they say and we know they got the best wings in town, hands down. And make sure when you go in there, you mention our name, the Overdue Bills podcast. Get 10% off your order.
Absolutely. Shout out to Buffalo Wing Kings. Definitely appreciate them. Always on the ones and the twos. And with that being said, I ask everybody to like, share, rate, and review, man. Please do that. Help us out. We need you to do that. And go to overduebillspod.com. Overduebillspod.com. You see the merch. You see the hats. You see the, winter hats. We got everything, man. Listen, we got everything that you need. So please go to the website and you can see all Overdue Bills content, all Overdue Bills, everything. And with that being said, y'all know how we start every show with our quick question of the day. And I wanted to ask this because this question was asked to our all-star quarterback, himself, Josh Allen. The question was this, basically. Is this a Super Bowl winning offense? And Josh Allen didn't take too kind to this question. In fact, he looked a little perturbed. He was upset about this question. So I'm going to ask you, Matt, and I'm going to ask Rad. Do you believe that we have a Super Bowl winning offense?
What does that even mean?
I'm going to answer it as the same way as Josh did. Okay. And that's it. No. But I wasn't really asked as a question, though. I think the reporter, said that this offense wasn't a Super Bowl. He didn't ask the question if Josh thought it was. He stated that he thought that it wasn't. So that's kind of, I think, why Josh took it the way that he did and kind of responded how he did with a simple, okay, that's how you feel, man.
I understand that. That's why I'm asking you the question. Do we have a Super Bowl winning offense? That's why.
I do think so. I mean, I think we have, obviously the quarterback, right? A wide receiver number one. We do have serviceable, we do have a good running back number one, and then another running back in a James Cook. They can kind of serve as a 1-2 punch if they have to. Obviously, they're not. We talk about it all the time. They're not getting the volume that you're not seeing the 30 carries in a Bills offense for sure. But I think we definitely have it. We just gotta, keep going on and continue our success in the red zone.
Okay. Rad, do we have, in your opinion, a Super Bowl caliber offense?
Yeah, we have a Super Bowl caliber team. I don't know. I don't even understand the question really. I mean, like, what do you mean? Like, can we win a football game? Yeah, with our offense, yes. So you can win the Super Bowl with it. I mean, that's too simple. I know that sounds simple, but we got a MVP caliber quarterback. We have who had ups and downs, but he's playing good enough to be winning games. We number one in the we wanted one number one in the conference, one in our division. We top 3 in scoring on offense, top 5. I mean,
Yeah. I think we're number 1 in point differential.
I mean, I don't necessarily get why, I understand it's the Jets. We playing a good Jets defense.
Yeah.
And we try to figure out wins, try to get a win in the cold and the elements up here in Buffalo. That's how you win games. Everything ain't gonna be pretty, everything gonna be 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. Yes, we gotta. Yes, I mean yes.
Okay, I mean, I listen. This is your opinion. I'm only asking the question because you know what I mean. It was a hot topic. Obviously, it was a soundbite. You know what I'm saying? It definitely was a post-out clip for Josh Allen when he received that comment from the reporter. But it does, I think it's a question that we do have to ask. And even you see in the comments, some people say we don't have it because when you look at our offense, we have gone through lows. Like we have been going through lows the past few games. I understand.
What is the description? Just before you finish, what is the description of a Super Bowl caliber offense? Tell me.
I think it's like porn. You know it when you see it, right? I don't know. Like I don't. It's not. I'm not saying anything insane, Rad. Like I'm asking you a simple question.
But I want to know what is
caliber
that? Offense. So how many of those? How many Super Bowl?
That's why I'm asking
in the NFL.
It is. Listen, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I'm asking you that question. You said we do. Matt said we do. I mean, y'all said I don't know what else to say. Like if y'all say we do, then hey, that's y'all opinion.
Who won the Super Bowl last year? The Rams.
Yeah, that was a high-powered offense, some would say. But listen. That's just It's just an icebreaker. It's an icebreaker. I just wanted to throw that out there because it's been the topic of conversation, throughout the day. But that being said, let's recap this game. The Bills versus the Jets, 20-12. And I'm going to start on a good note, right? We won the game. So I'm going to ask this question. I need one player and even one play. If you can give me a specific play that you want to highlight, one player, one play, right? That you would like to highlight that kind of made the game for you, right? I know Matt was out there in the element, so I'm going to go to Matt first. Matt, you was there. You heard the crowd. You know what I'm saying? You was cold out there. So can you give me one player, one play that kind of stood out in that type of environment when you was there?
Well, I think one play that stood out to me throughout the whole game was a guy that I've been looking for, we've been looking for this whole season. He's in a contract year. Tremaine Edmonds, you always talk about he's always making tackles and going backwards. But this particular play, I think it was like it might have been like a 2nd and 6 or maybe like a 3rd and 6. And he shot the gap and he got a tackle for loss. And it was like, all right, that's the Edmonds I want to see. So that was the play that was like, all right, man, welcome back. And this is what we got. This is what I want to see going forward.
Absolutely. I will agree with that. I saw that play and I highlighted it. I was like, all right, thank y'all for Tremaine Evans. I got something to say about that too. And I know it's going a little crazy in the comments. Yes, Mama Coaster, I was quoting that. I was definitely quoting that from the Supreme Court Justice. Thank you, Tara Hogan. And to Mike Daniels, Rad does know what a Super Bowl caliber defense is, so he's just playing silly. But Rad, that notwithstanding, can you give me one play, one player yesterday that you can highlight? And if in the comments, if you have something, please let us know. We want to highlight that right now.
For me, it's over the top. So both of them, the Josh Allen over the top for the first down, and then it's Dawson Knox diving into the end zone. Those 2 plays were, just key plays that we needed. That it was tough. It was a tough game, right? And the offense, was sputtering. We punted like the first 4 possessions. And the Josh first down kept the drive going, and then Dawson Knox, jumping over the top. Just we needed that touchdown. It gave us that extra oomph. to carry that momentum. So both of those plays for me is over the tops. Both of those plays was key plays, gutsy plays, and we needed both of them.
Okay, for me, I'm gonna say Deion Dawkins. The Deion Dawkins block might hit the group chat that he almost killed somebody. And the reason I'm gonna say that is because I was gonna come on this podcast prior to that block, and I was gonna say that we probably need to put Deion Dawkins up for a trade in the offseason. Because I was literally gonna kill him. I was done. The penalties just got me. I'm like, what are we doing, Deion Dawkins? You doing a lot of talking on social media, y'all dancing, y'all doing all this on Instagram. But when it comes down to the play, he can do whatever he wants. But my problem with it is when it comes down to the play on the field, I haven't been seeing it for the past couple of weeks. You've been getting beat on the outside. I just don't know what was going on. But what he showed me was he still can be an elite lineman. He just has to hone in on everything and do what he needs to do. So that's my word to Deion Dawkins. Deion Dawkins, you can have all the peripheral stuff. Just do what you need to do when the whistle goes. All right. That's all I want you to do. Do what you need to do when the whistle goes. That's all I want you to do. So I'm going to ask you guys, y'all gave me a play, but can y'all give me a player? Can y'all highlight one? I know it was only 20-12, but is there one player for you, Rad, that you want to highlight?
One player?
For yesterday's game.
No, I think it was an overall good team effort for me. One player, one player didn't stick out more than the other. Any other, I think it was an overall team effort for me. So I just think everybody did what they needed to do to win this game.
Matt?
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep talking about him probably every week. And Matt Milano, making big plays. If he could catch, I think he'd have like 10 interceptions this season. He seems to be like right there in every single game with an interception. But just between the plays that he makes, the pressure he gets on the quarterback, he had that absolutely crazy hit on Mike White that probably would have taken majority of quarterbacks out. But Mike White showed a lot of toughness yesterday, coming back and playing the whole game. But definitely Milano, just week in and week out, bringing it.
For me, I'm gonna give Greg Rousseau some love. He played well. Like it's becoming of a first round draft pick, right?
Yeah.
We know we lost Von Miller for the season, and we need a spark. And he gave us that spark in the beginning of the game, right? He gave us that spark in the beginning of the game, and I'm like, listen, this is what we need, Rousseau. This is what we've been waiting for. And also honorable mention, shout out to my guy, friend of this show, Shaq Lawson, aka Sack Lawson. You know the deal. It's just like the energy that he brings to the team is nothing short of amazing, and it shows you, right, that clearly the talent is there, right? And like once, like him putting it all together and having that veteran savvy, I see it in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I think we need that. You know what I mean? So shout out to Shaq Lawson, aka Sack Lawson. You know the vibes. But I wanted to ask you guys this. I want some takeaways from the game, right? Because at the end of the day, Raz said this was a tough win, team effort, and we're going to have to win these dirty games, so to speak, right? It wasn't a flashy game. It wasn't a lot of offensive yards, right? But Rad, at the end of the day, if we're number one in the conference, that means everything has to go through Buffalo. Yeah. So we know we have weather. This is not like, we understand the weather, December, January, so we know what's coming, right? So with that being said, what are your takeaways from this game moving forward? We played against a good defense, shaky offense, but what is your takeaways from this game?
I think just the last couple of weeks, right, going back to that Thanksgiving game, that pulling out that Detroit win. This game is tough, a tough defense. The Jets have a really good defense, one of the better defense we're going to play the rest of the season. One of the better defenses, definitely in the AFC. For all the contenders, probably the best defense, not the Bills. That's a contender, quote unquote. I don't really think, but so for me, I take away is just winning these games, right? I think like I said, the Detroit game, this game are just games that we're gonna need to go back to remind ourselves we can beat these, we can win these close games, we can dig deep, we can overcome things, even if the offense is not being, like y'all say, a Super Bowl caliber offense. You know what I mean? Whatever that means. I don't know
what you're saying, like y'all say. You saying like the reporter said.
Oh, I thought you agreed with him.
No. I asked the question. That's all I did. That's all I'm here to do.
Well, like the people in the comments were saying, if our Super Bowl caliber offense isn't showing up, Our defense is definitely there to pick it up. So I think our overall, the team winning these tough games, we was on a little skid. People was, we was the Super Bowl darlings, and it wasn't so no more. People was talking about the Chiefs, and now the Bengals getting better. So just understanding, getting back to that rhythm, winning football games. I think winning football games is the key, to all of this. Obviously, you want to be dominant on both sides, on all phases of the ball, but you understand that in NFL, that's not typically how it goes. If something that doing right, we can, match it with on the other side of the ball, or make a key defensive play, or make a special teams play, things like that. Overall, good football being played, and that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing adjustments. I'm seeing us trying to run a ball. I'm seeing other people step up. So yeah, I think we're just playing great football.
Interesting. So Matt, give me some takeaways from the game.
Takeaway from the game for me is that, going forward towards the end of this season, we're probably going to see one of the better offenses in the NFL, one of the better receiving corps in the NFL in Cincinnati, and then going to the playoffs, we have to solidify that cornerback 2 position. Because Trey's just getting back. I feel like it's going to take him a couple more games to kind of get back into that same stride. But right now, Dane Jackson just isn't it. That cornerback 2 position is just up for grabs, and without Micah Hyde there, we don't have the luxury of that kind of help. I mean, you got Jordan Poyer, obviously, but definitely. Yesterday, you saw it, at moments like the start the second half, he let up 2 big third down conversions and just seems to be getting targeted as much as like Levi Wallace would get targeted last year. But Levi, he would at least be able to come out on top. It just doesn't seem like Dane Jackson is it, and we got to get that cornerback 2 spot solidified, whether that be a Kyer coming back or Xavier Rhodes not being the healthy scratch, getting him out on the field. I don't know what it's going to be or who it's going to be, but we got to get that solidified going into the playoffs, playing against these better offenses.
I'm glad you said that, because I do want to talk about the defensive rotation. And there's a quote that Sean McDermott said, but I will say this, like, Dane Jackson gets targeted because, I mean, it's not like you don't really want to target, quote unquote, Trey White. I mean, he's not necessarily, but I mean, it's like you have to target somebody. So in that regard, but to answer that question, what you said about Dane Jackson and shoring up that number 2 spot, Sean McDermott was pretty much asked that same question, and he said that he just wants to put the best 11 guys out on the field, which being interpreted, he believes that Dane Jackson is one of those best 11 players. So, I mean, what do you say to that? Like, if our head coach, who we trust, right, and Sean McDermott we trust, right? Like, that's what I've been hearing for a long time now, and he's saying that out of Xavier Rhodes and Kyer Elam, and obviously Christian Benford is on IR, but out of those 2 players, he says that Dane Jackson is the better player. So, Rad, what do you say to that?
I'm not arguing that. I mean, that's what he believes. I'm not even. I mean, I know that what Matt said, but I'm not even. Dane Jackson gave us some third downs, gave us some plays, gave us some yards, but I mean, this is football. This is the other side of the team, is the NFL team. That's first round caliber. Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. These are really good high end players. And Dane Jackson is not 1 for 1, but and I think we do good rallying around it. Even if we give up yards, we tough in the red zone. So I'm not necessarily. I know we want to be a shutdown, don't let nothing happen on defense type of. That's what we want, but in reality, that doesn't happen. So but how he's playing, he make key plays. He got the trust of the teammates. He got the trust of the coaching staff, and I'm cool with that. And to know that we got Elam. And we got other guys, Rose, and other guys to put in there just in case if he do give up something too big. I'm not necessarily worried about the second cornerback spot. I think the defense as a whole is playing well enough, and we're going to continue to play well. And I think the scheme is great. We play that shell type of defense, so I'm fine with it.
I think I lean more towards Rad. Like, obviously, I get upset at like watching Dane Jackson. Not so much the coverage, but the missed tackles after. Like, at least make the tackle when you get dogged. Like, that's all I ask for. And to answer like some of the questions in the comments, I think like the Jets only scored 12 points. Like that. That's actually, I mean, that's an amazing day for our defense. That's 2-2. You know what I mean? Like 12 points is not a lot of points, y'all, at all. I mean,
not even a little bit.
Scoring is down in the league, but like we got to take our wins when we take our wins. Our defense actually played well. And they knocked Mike White out, right? Like, and we don't pray for injuries or anything like that, but you know, he wasn't terrible. You know what I'm saying? He got a little spunk. He's definitely better than Zach Wilson. But
Yeah, he could. He
can throw the ball. He can throw the ball.
He's
not,
gonna be fine.
A terrible player.
He's not terrible.
They got good receivers. Like, we stopped him to 12 points. It's actually good. Shout out to Leslie Frazier. Shout out to the scheme. We did a pretty good job. How do you feel about that, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with the results, right? 12 points, against an offense that they do have some players on that side of the ball. And Mike White, I think he threw for almost like 400 yards the week before against Minnesota. So definitely got to shout out Leslie Frazier and his scheme. They got after him, and they got after it, and turned out to be pretty good.
I think that, like, it's funny because we went through this with Levi Wallace, right? Like, some people say, oh, maybe we should try Dane, you know what I mean? Or, like, you know what I mean? They'll say that. It's like,
yeah,
like, first of all, Sean McDermott, he just doesn't operate that way. You know what I mean? He doesn't really operate that way. And I don't think, clearly, Kaiir Elam, whatever is going on in practice, it's not there. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I will trust Sean McDermott. I will trust Leslie Frazier. And you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if we can stop, offenses to 12
it's
points,
working.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, we talk about the nuances of the game. We watching it. Matt is there. He see the big plays. He see the third. So it's a different vibe when you're watching it. It's like, come on, bro. But in the grand scheme of it,
it's actually a good defense. Yeah,
it's a great
defense. So let's transition, because we do have to talk about certain players individually, right? We're at this point in the season, right? Definitely getting close to week 17. Playoff matchups are getting ready. We're going to talk about that in a second. But I do want to, let's take a step back and let's rank some of our players, because I've said this on this pod many times, that us as Buffalo Bills fans, sometimes we get caught up in all of the fan lore and all of the fanaticism, and we kind of overrate certain players who are just not that good, plainly. And I see there's somebody in the comments, so I'll go straight directly to him, and let's bring Isaiah McKenzie to the forefront, right? And I just want to ask everybody plainly, everybody in the comments, Matt and Rad, I'm just going to ask you plain straight up, where do you rank Isaiah McKenzie? Like, 1 to 10, or out of, if it's 50 receivers in the room, where is he going to go? I'm just like 50 NFL receivers from Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs on down. Where is he at in that 50, right? I'm just going to ask you straight up, or the 75, however you want to give me your honest answer. I'm going to go to Matt first. Where is Isaiah McKenzie? 1 to 10.
Well, I'm going to just say he's not in the 50. I'm just doing simple math. I mean, 32 teams, he's not a top 2 receiver, on any of those teams. So I'm going to just say he's at least out of the top 64, right?
So on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll probably go with like a 6. He does have issues dropping the ball. He's good when he gets the ball. He definitely, that's got to be. So is
Tutu Atwell.
He's a gadget guy. He's not the same possession type receiver that Cole Beasley was in that same spot. So, he's a guy that definitely has to get the ball and then make something happen after the catch.
Rad.
Yeah, he a high end gadget guy, if that makes sense. Wide receiver 4 or 5. If you think about fantasy, if that wide receiver 5 probably. He's good when people playing man against us. He's our man beater, right? He's a speed guy, somebody who can beat man to man. But that zone, he haven't figured. Like Beasley was the zone guy. He find the spots. He found the open zones. Diggs is pretty good at that too, but he's not really that. He don't got the feel for the game on that level. You know what I mean? He's a man beater. So he's a situational type of player, really. So he's definitely not top 50 at all. On a given team, he in your top 5 receivers on most teams. He a top if you got a good wide receiver core, he a wide receiver 4 or 5 on the team.
Isaiah McKenzie is probably one of the worst receivers in the league. I'm gonna be honest. I think he's a detriment to our team. I really do. I'm gonna tell you why he's a detriment to our team because
let me Google detriment because that's all right.
I think that Ken Dorsey, he literally tries to find ways to get him involved because he's so bad at catching the ball. And it's just like, it's frustrating because it's like he never should be isolated because he's not going to catch the ball. Like the ball hits him in the chest, he drops it. It hits him in the hands, he drops it. He never runs the right routes, in my opinion. It seems like every time, if it's 3rd and 5, he runs 3rd and 4 routes. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, what happened to the extra yard? He just doesn't have a feel for the game.
He's not a polished receiver.
He's not. He has one of the worst feels for the game. In Gadget, like,
Gadget.
I guess. You know, like Gadget. Deebo Samuel was a Gadget guy, high end.
No,
he is.
Deebo Samuel is just a dominant player.
He is, but I'm just saying you can.
But you say Chris McCaffrey, you're not a Gadget guy. I'm not a Gadget. Gadget is like, what's a gadget? Something in the bottom of your like a hammer isn't a gadget. You need like a
but like anybody
you don't use
can
all
do a jet sweep though. Like anybody with speed can do jet sweeps. That's not like a thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can put any like we used to. Anybody that was fast in a high school, like, just like, maybe we get them out in space, they can do something. Yes, that's just common sense. Space, fast, it just makes sense. Yeah. I'm just saying he doesn't have feel for the game, even on the jet sweeps. Sometimes he keeps it outside. He need to cut it in. I don't like him.
Remember when we drafted Goodwin, Marquise Goodwin?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. But I'm saying it was
guy. Yeah.
It was similar, but he's not like if you see him now in Seattle, he's a much better receiver. It took him long, he was that fast track guy. He's a much better receiver now. This is 6-7 years in the league, but I think McKenzie obviously just gonna need time to develop that type of game. Marquise Goodwin was the same way. He was just fast, couldn't catch, and it was like, what you gonna do with him? But he needs some time to just get that feel for the game, and I think he's worth
I don't think he's worth anything. I think that. What I mean by he's a detriment to the offense, honestly, I think our offense, I think Mama Coulter is trying to say it. She even said it earlier. She said that Josh Allen doesn't trust him. And on 3rd downs, like if we keep isolating him, that's a problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not helping us. It's not helping the offense. So for me, Isaiah McKenzie is a legit 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the best.
Yeah, when Matt said 6, that was a bit high. 6 is a high because 6 is like, if 5 is average, I would say, and 6 he's not above average. So he's like about a 4 on the best day of 4.
Yeah.
That's 3.
Exactly. All right. We just listen. We gonna crack the code. Isaiah McKenzie trash. He needs to go.
Shakur haven't taken that job, which is maybe say something about him. But I'd say
it says something about our team
by season end. I feel like he should have took the job by now because he's just a better receiver. He is. But the game.
Shakir is a better receiver.
He's not as fast.
Even when he's not as fast, but even when Shakir's in the game, he gets PIs. Like he got that receiver feel to him. But that's neither here nor there. I'm glad Mike said that because I'm bringing him to the forefront, Mike. Gabe Davis. I heard on this podcast, this one right here, that Gabe Davis was 1B to Stephon Diggs 1A. I actually heard that. That was a thing said on this podcast. I'm not going to say you said it, but it was a thing. So I'm going to go to you, Matt, first, since you're more optimistic. Matt, can you rank Gabe Davis, right? Can you rank him? Is he even a top 2 tier receiver in that next class of receivers?
I'm gonna still stick with yeah.
Oh God.
He's a good wide receiver number 2 on any team in the NFL, including ours, right? Now, granted, he's been very inconsistent. That's the alarming part. But when he's on his game, which he has been in a few games this year, not a lot of games, he does show the ability and the glimpses to be a wide receiver number 2. The Minnesota game, that great. He hasn't had lately, besides that Minnesota game, like his crazy catch down the field or the ability to just break the game open, and that's kind of what we're missing out of him. And I think it's coming because again, it didn't really come until too late last year, and we saw the playoff run that he had. Obviously, the 4 touchdowns in the one game, that was a big chunk of it, but I think he'll be all right.
Right?
No, he's not He's not. I was very high on Gabe Davis this year.
I
I thought Gabe Davis was going to take a leap. I thought the more playing time, the high passing offense, but he's had drops. He has drops. He has a problem beating one-on-one coverage, and he's not an elite speedster, right? He's a throw it up. He gonna beat you. He gonna beat you to the ball. He's not a separation guy. He's a jump ball type of guy. So he's a wide receiver 3. And I don't necessarily. He has good games, but I don't see the consistency or even in the good games, it ain't like a dominant game. It's like 3 catches and one of them a bomb. So it's like it's not no 7-8 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown like that type of consistency where he just beating his man one-on-one. He's getting open like a Diggs, obviously. So yeah, he's not a wide receiver 2 in my eyes, and I think we brought John Brown back. So I think we brought John Brown back. So we brought Smoke back. So I think that's saying something, and he got a target. I think that's saying something, and I think we're going to address that position this offseason or in the draft.
It was a mistake not addressing it. Like, it was a mistake not addressing it in this draft or this offseason. Like, it was a mistake thinking that Gabe Davis was actually better than what he was because of literally one game. Let's keep it a stack. Yeah, we can keep it a stack bundle, yo. I'm just telling you that we cannot deny that the one game in the playoffs did skew how we looked at this receiver. Like, it did. Like, it kind of catapulted him as like, oh my God, Gabe Davis. When actually in reality, I don't know if Gabe Davis is hurt, but for me, I just don't like the way Gabe Davis runs. Like, he's very gimpy. Like, I don't know if anybody else sees that. He has a gimpiness to him. Like, even when Josh Allen is scrambling and he's trying to find a blocker, he's very gimpy to it. Like, I can't deal with that. I don't like him. Not like personally. I just don't like his game. I don't think his game suits our quarterback. He gets yards, he gets touchdowns by happenstance because Josh Allen will throw touchdowns. He has to. He's a great player. So, I mean, somebody got to catch it. You know what I'm saying? But, like, at the end of the day, Rad is right. Like, he doesn't get open. Like, when you look at it, when they get the wide view or you look at the all, 11, it's just like, bro, you never open. It's always the contested. It's always you got somebody hounding on you. Why can't you get space? He's not a good route runner.
He's not.
Like, he's
not elite at anything.
This is he's just like blah. Like, he's a blah player.
He's good. He's good. I think he's a wide receiver 3. He's good.
With that being said, though,
he's good.
Push back, man.
I guess I'll take it just and I'll pull up the numbers. You know what I mean? He's already above, what he's done in his first 2 seasons. He's right on par right now of his total targets and total receptions already through 12 games that he was in 16 the last 2 seasons. He's on pace right now to, if not get 1,000 yards, get pretty close. He's got 700 yards through 12 games. His average per catch has gone up. His receptions are up. His touchdowns are about the same. So if that's what we got out of him, I'll take that to compliment a Diggs.
I think
it's suited them well in these past 2 seasons.
I think he's good, right? Obviously, he's a good player. He's a wide receiver 3, but for me, it's more so me. It's me where I had him at, right? We look at the elite combos. We look at the Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. We look at the Jalen Wallows, Tyreek Hills of the world. We look at even like when Diggs and Thielen was both in Miami, both in Minnesota. I don't think he's even on the high-end Thielen level, right? When Thielen was scoring 10, 12 touchdowns a year. So when you look at, those type of combination at wide receiver, I don't think he's that. I think he's a good wide receiver 3. That's and a lot of it was on me for thinking that he was going to be, as good as a T. Higgins, which is not.
My thing is like the way I look at Gabe Davis, it's like Gabe Davis is like Christian Kirk. Like, maybe, you know what I'm saying? It's just like,
I was going to say, if he's like Christian Kirk, then I'll take that for sure. But
I actually might take Christian Kirk.
I know. I'm not only saying that. I'm saying Christian Kirk last year because
okay.
Like when Matt said, I looked up the 1,000 wide receivers, and it's just like Jacoby Myers almost had 1,000. Like, that's not even. It's not a thing anymore. Like, it's not like that's not whoop-de-doo. Like if you
How
have
the
like,
other season is a big stat.
It's not a big stat.
For
Not
any
if you have
non-wide
if
receiver,
Josh
that's a
Allen is
pretty
throwing
big
3,000 yards, somebody has to catch the ball.
4,000.
Yeah, it's just like yes, by happenstance. Like yes, by happenstance, sure, you should get 1,000 yards.
Is he better than Juju Smith-Schuster?
No, I would take Juju over him. He's garbage.
Then that's
no. Like Gabe Davis will never ever have a year like Juju Smith-Schuster ever in his career.
I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about today.
Juju is the number one receiver in Kansas City. I mean, obviously Kelsey's the number one receiver there, but Juju's really the number one there. You got Hardman.
I don't like him. But that's. I mean, we don't gotta stay on.
I'm
Gabe
not trying
Davis.
to harp on Gabe. I think Gabe was good. But as far as where I had him in my mind, I have to take a step back.
Yeah, we need to address receiver. Period. Point blank. So next player, and we're gonna move. DeMar Hamlin. Matt, where do you rank him? You just throw it out there.
I'd rank him. I'd rank him in the top 40 safeties in the NFL. I mean, he's a good. I mean, obviously we got 32 teams, right? He's not obviously not our safety number one, but he is a very good safety. He's a good tackler.
Is he?
I mean, I think so.
He was definitely one of our top two on special team tacklers for a fact.
Yeah, he's a good tackler.
I agree with that.
He was.
He doesn't. He's not the ball hawk that we had in Micah Hyde, but he seems to be there. Making plays. And run support and swarming guys when they catch the ball in the short yardage situations that they do or whatever. I think he's pretty good. Definitely a serviceable safety in the loss of Micah Hyde for the season. Absolutely.
Okay, so let me ask y'all this because I did want to ask a Dawson Knox question, but somebody said this in the comments earlier. Is it Dawson Knox? Is it Gabe Davis? Is it Isaiah McKenzie? Or is it Ken Dorsey? Is Ken Dorsey shifting his playbook so it can be tailor-made to Josh Allen and the weapons that he has, right? Like, is it like, who do you think? Because obviously every game is not going to be perfect, but it just seems like we stall out, on certain drives. It just seems like, granted, we can, we are relying on Josh Allen running more, which we thought that we should. But I'm just saying, it's just like what do you think it is? Like, it just doesn't seem as fluid as it once did.
I mean, I think we prisoner of the moment, right? I remember if I can go back to last year, you wanted the bowl fired about 4 times. You know what I'm saying? So the bowl offense wasn't always as fluent as people like to imagine it was. We had definitely some laws. We had some questionable running decisions where we ran the ball, whatever it was with the bowl. So I think it's just this is first year play calling. I think he's doing a good job. Maybe these guys not what we thought they were. Maybe people understand that clearly we asking more of these guys where last year. We had more, we had, some games at the Emmanuel Sanders of the world, Cole Beasley of the world, that we relied on. Now we're relying on these guys to take that next step. And they just didn't take the step yet, or so I don't think it's necessarily on Ken Dorsey at all. I think because in the beginning of the season, we was all running on our cylinders. He was, going to win coordinator of the year. So I think some defenses kept caught on to some of that stuff. And we still making adjustments to figuring it out. And I like his willingness to run the ball, and we can run the ball when we go to that. So I like his running schemes. If when we get to the running schemes, I like Ken Dorsey running schemes, right? And I think he's good. So I think the players got to step up and be better, and I think we will.
Interesting, Matt. So with that being said, do you think that the 7.5 point spread that we have against the Miami Dolphins this week is that too high or too low?
I think it might be a little too high. I like us by a touchdown. I don't like that extra half point. I do think that the Dolphins, they have the ability to score with the two, top 3 wide receivers still in the NFL stat, yardage wise and things like that. So I definitely probably too high being 7.5. I'd take the point under and go 6.5 just to get it under a touchdown. I do think we do win by a touchdown this week for sure.
Interesting.
I think
you feel the same way?
I think that's just right. I think we're gonna win. I think we're gonna win this game by 10, double digits, right? I think Tua is seeing ghosts right now. Now I think
Is Tyreek Hill playing?
Yeah, he's day to day. He's day to day.
Okay.
He says more so bruises, nothing crazy, nothing major.
Yeah.
I don't know about Jeff Wilson, so they might just be down to Mostert. But I think Tua seeing ghosts. I think Chargers and them boys figured we saw something the last 2 weeks to take away the middle of the field, put more extra people on Tyreek Hill. So now, what is your second and third option? If you're gonna throw it to Sherfield or whoever, Gesicki, whoever you're gonna throw it to all day, we beat us with that. Beat us with these other guys. And I think Tua hasn't necessarily made that adjustment yet. And we got one of the best defenses in the league, right? Chargers defenses, they're okay, but I think Leslie Frazier watching that game film. I think Miami coming to Buffalo is gonna be cold. I don't think their offense is gonna be good. I mean, I think we're going to not blow them out, but we're going to win this game handily.
I agree. I don't think they're going to be good either. I mean, they only scored 23 points, the first time. And I read a stat that we were, I think, the highest team to run press man. I think we ran about 45% of the time during that game. And they were saying that press man is hurting Tua because it's kind of knocking the receivers off the route, knocking off their timing, you know what I'm saying, and all that stuff. And I think like that, like, I better see what I'm anticipating is Russo, Shaq Lawson, Epineza, and I mean, I don't know what Boogie Basham is doing, but everybody else and Oliver, like, they should kill Tua, right? Like, he's gonna be like tiptoeing in that backfield.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's a different. They're on a slide right now, and McDaniels is his first year. This is first year coaching, so I don't know if he's gonna make that adjustment right. And Tua seeing ghosts right now. So not seeing ghosts, but like, he's not confident right now. It's not confident.
Touchy Philly.
Yeah, it's not the same right now. They're not 5 weeks ago. This is a different Miami Dolphins team, and we're a better team than them. It's point blank period.
Absolutely, man. Definitely, I can't wait for the game, man. Hopefully the Bills continue on this running the table. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be interesting, man. Definitely gonna be interesting to see how it shakes out. I think next week, I'll give it another week after we play Miami, after we get this other, game under our belt as far as the divisional is concerned, because I do want to kind of get to playoff matchups. I do want to. We can look ahead. We have a good team. We have the ability to look ahead. So with that being said, Matt, we got to look back and let the people know who won the contest, man.
Yeah. So this week was a definitely. It wasn't a weird one, but obviously nobody won the Mills double up because nobody had that 20-12 score, and then the passing yards. I don't think anybody anticipated the weather, and just how good the Jets defense kind of really is. So
no, they are. It ain't kind of.
They lost Quentin Williams. Thank God.
Yeah. So Josh Allen threw for 147 yards, which we gotta look that up. That might be his lowest. Since his rookie season.
I'm about to say, I don't know. Josh it took a long time to get to 300 for it. Took like 3 years.
Yeah, I'm just saying 200 seemed to be kind of the norm. 250. Okay. It seemed to be pretty easy for him as of late, and whatever. But anyways, he threw for 147. So the closest person was our guy Roshan Sessom.
My guy.
He got the closest this week with a whopping 228 yards. So that was the differential. There's nobody under that. So shout out to Roshan. Next time you're in town, we'll hook you up with that gift card. Obviously, we know you don't live here anymore, but I know you.
No, it's fine. I will be accepting his gift card. I'm happy he couldn't be here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do right by you, bro.
If anybody gonna accept it, I got to accept it. Generally,
he might be home for the holidays. It's holiday season, so we'll
right at his house. He relocated. He gone. This ain't his house home no more, is it?
True.
It might be. It might be.
Well, let the people know how they can win, Matt.
Yeah. So this week we're gonna do the score prediction for the Saturday night primetime showdown against the Miami Dolphins. Big divisional matchup. So it's going to be, big prizes given away by us. You're going to do the score prediction. Then we're going to go with put our guy on Front Street. You know what? I was going to switch it up this week, but you know what? Every time I do Josh, we win. So I'm going to stay consistent with it. I'm not going to mix it up. My bad, guys. We're going to do the score prediction for the Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. And then we are going to do the passing yardage and rushing yards from Josh Allen as the two tiebreakers. You're gonna give a score prediction on the contest that we post, and then that contest is gonna close Saturday night at 8:00, right before kickoff. And good luck. The winner is gonna get a $30 gift certificate to our lovely sponsor at Buffalo Wing Kings.
Man, definitely anticipating the game. Can't wait for the game. Shout out to everybody on. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Please like, share, rate, and review. Subscribe. Do all of those amazing things. And OverdueBillsPod.com. Don't forget OverdueBillsPod.com. And y'all know how we end every show with a little bit of that. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey.
Only Buffalo is going to win it, folks.
Kick your heels up and down.
Let's see why the Buffalo Bills are en route to the playoffs.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout.
Buffalo Bills go undefeated. And we're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Now, baby, come on, come on.
No one
Come on,
circles the wagon.